Sim racing fans, and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's race number 2 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series here in Sim 500 competition alongside Gal Brooks tonight. I am Ben Kilcrease and Aaron Groskopf. Getting a picture that you see to you. Here we go, Gael. So glad you've joined me in the booth tonight. It's glad to have you, especially for race number 2 here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. These guys put on a heck of a show, and well, tonight, hot Atlanta, living up to its name. Track temperature 118 degrees. This thing's going to get a little fun as the race goes on.
Yeah, I'm very glad to be here again. I say I got to join with John earlier and a few weeks back. I say it's nice to join the booth with you as well. Get to see John make some laps here. Hopefully he has a good run here. And yeah, like you said, it's a warm one today. I say 118 track temperature. I was watching some of the trucks in practice. They were definitely sliding around. So it'll be pretty exciting to see what kind of show they put on for us tonight.
100 laps, a long race, plenty of time to make the moves necessary to try and work your way into victory here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Currently, Kevin Brown's at the top of the board in qualifying as everybody continues to clock their times in over the course of this evening. 43 trucks strong, and with the draft package here, Gael, that's going to really create for an exciting race. We're going to see some big packs all night long, some close racing, and for most of the night, probably side-by-side, tail-to-nose racing all throughout not only the lead pack, but the whole field.
Yeah, it's not going to be just up front. They're going to be all over the place from 10th, 15th on back. And yeah, I'll be curious to see if it's going to be, if they try to stay in the low line or if they're going to try to make the momentum work up top. It'll be pretty exciting to watch. And like you said, Kevin DeBrown leading in the qualifying so far. It's actually his birthday today, so that'd be a nice birthday present for him.
It certainly would. So speaking of the birthday boy, let's talk to the driver that I believe this is his first ever Sim 500 pole, and he'll lead us to the green flag here in race number 2 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kevin Brown, Ben Kilcrease, SRN booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. And to correct you, it's actually my second pole in a row because I got pole last week.
That's right. Got the pole at Daytona. Excuse me. So second pole here in Sim 500. This one on a cookie cutter at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You're getting good at these pole things. How we feeling as far as race trim goes and on the long run speed?
Well, qualifying and the full race is different from each other. So hopefully we can try to save our stuff. Hopefully it'll go green here, not like it was last week with a little bit of caution fest. But hopefully we keep our stuff clean and make it to the end.
We wish you the best of luck, and the birthday boy on the pole. Happy birthday, Kevin. Good luck in the race.
Thank you.
There you have it. Kevin Brown on the pole, and that gives us the leadway to head into tonight's starting grid presented by RacingBids.com. Kevin Brown going to lead us to the green flag alongside Justin Fuller. That'll be row number 1.
And row number 2 in third position, you got Chad Coleman, and next to him in the 12, you've got Dwight Beverly.
Trey Edson rolls off 5th in the number 40 with David Comstock in the 42 to his outside.
Starting 7th, you've got Steve Gottschalk and Tommy Ryan in 8th.
Nick Tim's going to roll off 9th in the 51. Ryan Howard 10th in the 33, and some great qualifying efforts there by a good portion of the top 10 as we get set to go racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's going to be all about patience here tonight, Gael, with 100 laps, and like Kevin said, hopefully we can get some green flag runs in to really see who's going to, show their muscles on the long run.
Yeah, if they can get a long run, it's going to definitely be a big shake of who's going after it full tilt at the start of the race and then who's trying to save their stuff to make a big run at the end. Definitely notice there's a few big hitters that are electing to kind of hang out towards the back for the beginning of the race and hopefully make their way up towards the end with, you got EJ O'Rourke in 36 as well as Chad Cole in 37, so I think they've got a different strategy for tonight's race.
Always fun to watch those guys work their way through the field. Chad Cole is known for starting outside the top 30 and working his way up into the top 10. Usually by halfway will follow his success or, unsuccess in doing so tonight. This is a stout field, 43 trucks strong. He's got a lot of work to do there in the 82. Some other notables heading into tonight. You see Jason Jacoby starts back in 12th. Sean Boundy 17th. Nick Silver back in 18th. So some good names mixed further back in the field. So we'll watch those guys over the course of this race. But nonetheless, 150 miles, 100 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's race number 2 in the WCIParts.com Truck Series, live right here on the Sim Racing Network. So glad you've tuned in for this race tonight. As they head through 3 and 4, we've got them racked, we've got them stacked, and set to go racing. The season really getting going now as they head off of turn number 4. The birthday boy leads us to the green flag. It's the first one of the night. There it is. We're racing in Georgia.
Yeah, it's looking like a good clean start so far. Nobody going any crazy moves so far, so we'll see how it goes through here through turns 1 and 2.
Good battle for the second spot. Fuller trying to fend off Chad Coleman there, and will do so. Looks like to the back straightaway with that outside move. Gets the momentum built up on the top side of the racetrack, but down into turn number 3, it'll be Kevin Brown to lead lap number 1. He hasn't led it yet, but looks like he'll do so through 3 and 4 to 93 out front and off turn 4. Now we can give him officially lap number 1. He led a lot of laps at Daytona last week and didn't really have the finish he wanted. He finished up in the top 5, I do believe, but really thought he had a chance at the win. Had some last lap mishaps that sort of cost him a shot at that. Some lap traffic just in front of your leader, Brown, as they head into turn 3. That's John Mustian, and he'll hold the bottom and kind of split up the top 2, at least for now. Mustian on the inside and Fuller trying to get around him on the outside. That'll be sort of shaking things up in this battle for the win, or for the lead.
Yeah, it's looking like John must have started the race from the pits there, so he's going to have to hope for a timely caution, get back up in the main pack and make a run for it here as well. So not the ideal start for his race, I'm sure, but a lot of time to go.
Absolutely. He falls 4th in line there, but 1 lap down, sitting 43rd already. Like you said, not the best start for Mustian, but give him a couple laps and maybe an early caution here. He'll get back on the lead lap with the Lucky Dog. Getting by him now, that 40 of Trey Edson, as he tries to get a nice momentum going here. Early on, lap 4 of 100. Behind Edson, you have Dave Comstock, Dennis Dwight Beverly, Tommy Ryan, Steve Gottschalk in a small battle with Ryan Howard. That would be for the 8th position as they race side by side. They kind of lead the 2x2 duos from 8th on back.
Yeah, it was really close there off of 2. So Steve's trying to work the bottom there. They're getting really close behind him. Oh, and then you've got, who was it, the 51 got in the wall off of 4 there. Say they're 3 wide trying to split around him here. So able to get through there cleanly, but that was a really close call there.
Close call, and it's not over yet. They almost make contact again in 1 and 2 with James Pascarella and the 51 almost getting together, door-to-door contact. They keep it straight, and look at Jason Jacoby making it 3 wide down into turn number 3, saying hello. We call him Mr. Excitement for a reason. You see Gottschalk backed way out of the throttle. He's not looking to be in a 3 wide situation this early on, but for the most part, Gael, these guys 2x2 from around 7th, 8th on back.
Yeah, I'd say they're in a pretty good spot from 5th on up, but yeah, from 6th on back though, they're definitely going after it, and I'll say that's kind of what we were expecting. So I'll say they're moving all over the place right now. You got Steve looking under 33 right there, entering 3.
So great racing going on mid-pack here, just inside the top 10 early on here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, closing in on the 1/10th mark of this race. We work lap 6 of 100 now. Look at Ryan Howard in the 33. He's kind of trapped behind Mustian, and Gottschalk doesn't know which way to go. Finally, he gets to the bottom side of the racetrack, and look through the field, Gael, as all these guys, the track's starting to get some heat build up, and some of these guys starting to move up the racetrack around in 1 and 2, and even down in 3 and 4 as well. Maybe some of these guys looking to make the middle to the top side start to come in this early on.
Yeah, so it's definitely where you start trying to move around, see if you can find a groove that works a little better, and even just get out of the dirty air of that truck in front of you. Just move around, see what you can find. I mean, maybe just by chance you pick someone up there. Like right now you've got JD Laird looking underneath Tommy Ryan off of 2 right there, coming off on the backstretch.
So great battles continuing to sort of rage on all through the field. One driver making up some big ground so far. Jason Jacoby up from 12th to around the 8th position, looking for 7th, maybe even 6th now at the line. We'll see what what he scored, give him 6th that time by for the driver of the 88. So almost half of his positions already gained through this starting field. So Jacoby really starting to make some ground up, and he's now on the bumper of David Comstock as they race down into turn number 3. Meanwhile, up front, talk about breakaway. It's Kevin Brown and Justin Fuller. They have gapped the rest of the field by over 1 second. These guys have pulled out ahead.
Yeah, they've separated themselves from the rest of the field there. I'm not sure if they've done anything like any plan or anything like that. I think those two are just really quick right now, and they're running some of the fastest laps of the race. At the moment, they're about 2/10 quicker than third place Chad Coleman. So I'm sure if they'd like to just see these guys stay put and have them check out some more until it's time for pit stops.
The way things going right now, looks like we're sort of setting up for a long run here in race number 2 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. You can find out all the info on this series by heading over to Sim500.com. Also, be sure to check out the other series that participate in Sim500 competition, Sim500.com. And boy, down the back straightaway, saw a couple trucks sort of dart to the inside, starting to get a little loose off of turn 2 there. Gael will have to watch that. We saw in practice that was sort of a problem turn, so we'll keep an eye on that as this run continues to build. It's only 104 track temperature right now, but as the sun begins to shine back down on the speedway, that will start to rise, especially with the amount of trucks turning laps. Still 43 strong on the racetrack.
And up front, looks like Fuller's going for the lead right now, and Kevin DeBrown. So it looks like Kevin just let him have it for now and then live to fight another day. So Fuller's just biding his time, and he's able to take the lead here, and he'll lead this lap.
So Fuller taking the birthday present away from the birthday boy, at least for now, as the rest of the field starts to close back in on him behind. So we'll see if Edson and Comstock and Coleman, and wow, let's look at that battle between all those guys back there. They were almost 3 wide down in 1 and 2 as Jacoby trying everything he can to make up some ground. He started 12th up to 6th, and he's right on the bumper of Chad Coleman and David Comstock. Like I said, those guys almost 3 wide back in 1 and 2, and really putting on a show from second on back up front. It's just the 2 leaders, but everybody behind them going at it for everything it's worth really early on.
Yeah, that was really close. I was watching the same thing you were there off of 2. I was a little worried if they weren't going to get together there, but they held on to us. They take their time. It's still early, like we talked about. Later on in the race, though, there might be contact in that future situation.
Certainly could. As speaking of contact, the first caution going to fly of the evening, and it's a pretty big one on the back straightaway. Milt Matisse in the 37 involved, and looks like he and the 78 of Dave Coburn get together coming off turn number 2, and Matisse hard into the outside safer barrier and putting us under caution for the first time tonight here in race number 2 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series.
Yeah, I was just checking out right now. It looks like the 78 may have got a little bit loose off of 2, like we talked about, because he didn't really slide up to the exit of 2, and I think Milt was expecting him to slide all the way up, and so yeah, they ran out of space there between the 2 of them, unfortunately.
So nonetheless, putting us under caution for the first time here tonight and giving us a great opportunity to head to our first break of the evening. You won't miss the pit stops. You'll catch those on our corner-to-corner coverage. We'll be back from Atlanta.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's the birthday boy, Kevin Brown, winning the race off of pit road, and he'll lead us back to the green flag. He had a good little stint there to start the race out. About 12 laps in, Justin Fuller was able to get around, and the caution came out. Fuller slid through his box. That puts him back to third for this restart, but nonetheless, Gael looking just about the same top 10 as we had heading into pit stops. Had a couple of big movers to talk about. We have Michael Keaton up from 22nd to 13th, and a couple other guys. Paul Nicholas Cooper, 23rd to 16th, and Chris Caboose, 26th to 18th. So some pretty hefty movers. E.J. O'Rourke, 16 spots, 36th to 20th. So some pretty hefty movers so far early in the field.
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of what we were expecting for some of those that kind of start towards the back. And I was saying that caution was a huge break for John, puts him back on the lead lap, so now we'll be able to see what he can do. Obviously, he still has a lot of the ground to make up, but I'd say now he's on the same lap as everybody.
41 cars on the lead lap. 2 cars are 1 lap down and maybe out of this race now. That's Dave Coburn and Milt Matisse. As lights are out on the pace car, Kevin Brown has got control of the field, and everybody waiting for his throttle movement. There it is. We're back underway in race number 2, and a good restart for the 40 machine on the outside. He'll try and challenge Justin Fuller for the runner-up spot heading down into turn 1.
Yeah, it was a good start for the 93, and actually a really nice start there for Justin Fuller to get back up to second spot there. It's really hard when you're the second place car to time your restarts with the leaders, since they can control the start. So yeah, that was a pretty good job though by Trey to do as best he could to hang on there.
And Edson has to do everything he can now to get down to the bottom side of the racetrack, or he'll be freight trained at least early on in this run as we work lap 21, 5th of the race. Going to be completed the flag stand as Edson goes up to the top shelf of the racetrack, looking to maybe find some grip up top. Brown was in the middle in 1 and 2 that time by. Lost a little bit of ground. Here comes Fuller to the inside. Jacoby trying to almost make it 3 wide as we got a battle for the lead up front. Brown on the outside, Fuller down low.
Yeah, they're wasting no time on this run. Those two aren't going to be able to sneak away like they did that last start. So I think Jacoby is definitely going to try to get his truck up front here and lead some laps.
Brown not giving it up easy though on that outside line. He'll have the lead at least for that last lap, and now he'll surrender it to Fuller on the back straightaway. So Fuller going to take the lead. Now Brown under pressure from Jacoby as they race down into turn number 3. Jacoby all the way from the 12th starting position, maybe not the qualifying effort he was looking for, but now he's looking to crack the top 2 and maybe get a runner-up spot here as we're just past the 1/5 mark of this race.
And I'll say Fuller's able to get a little bit of a gap here, and then Kevin is able to hold off Jacoby there on the top side, and that's what we talked about, is finding the different lines that work. So as I said, he drops to the bottom, of course. However, I think, like I said, as the tires wear out, they will start moving around a lot more, trying to find that spot where get it a little bit more grip and get that good exit off the 2 and 4 to make some passes.
Looking like the bottom working real well in 1 and 2, and you can kind of fend off a driver on the outside in 3 and 4, and Jacoby actually moved up the racetrack a little bit there, gets the run on Brown, and Brown puts him in the grass on the front stretch. A late block there has Jacoby. We'll call that a pass in the grass, Sim500 style, and slams the door off turn 2. Slide job for the 88 on the 93.
That was exciting. It's not what I expected to see happening there on lap 23, but as tough as it is to pass with these guys, you just got to take any opportunity you can. So that was a very nice move there to get around there. It's a little risky, but it paid off for him in the end.
Absolutely. A close call nonetheless there, and a pretty catch-your-breath moment for Jacoby through the tri-oval last time by, and now Jacoby gets by Brown and has his sights set on Justin Fuller. That's the top 3. Then you have Trey Edson, David Comstock rounding out the top 5. 6th is Tommy Ryan. Chad Coleman is back in 7th. And then you have the battle for 8th between Nick Silver, Ryan Howard, and Steve Gottschalk, all battling it out here. Silver started in 18th. He's up 10 spots now and not slowing down anytime soon, it seems.
Yeah, no, they're moving pretty quick right now. Saying single file for about the top 10, I'd say, and that's when they're still going double file from 10th on back. Just as I think just trying to, a few of them up front just trying to buy their time, but then of course you've got the others, like you're talking about Steve Goschuk running the bottom there, trying to fend off Dwight Beverly in the 12.
Goschuk, one of those drivers that doesn't get in any big hurry. He just plays with the cards that are dealt with him, and he's doing just that right now, trying to have a clean race, a good race for the 91. Didn't have a good showing at Daytona last week. Got caught up in a late incident, and speaking of incidents, another one here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, putting us under caution for the 2nd time, and this one involves the 04 machine. Mark Fravert down in turn number 1 and 2, and started with he. It looked to be the 51 of Nick Timms coming together in a 3-wide situation for the 28th spot down into turn 1.
Yeah, it's looking like they were going for 3 wide and just did not work out there. It's kind of pretty tight there entering. You got the 46, the 04, and the 51 all trying to fit it and squeeze in a spot there entering 1, and it did not end well for the 2 of them.
So nonetheless, caution out for the 2nd time, and Fravert and Timms going to be involved in this one, and looks like for the most part just a 2-trunk incident again here down in 1 and 2. So that puts us under caution for the 2nd time and gives us another opportunity to head pit side and see what kind of strategy we're going to roll. Not as many laps on the tires this time by, but I still think we're going to try 4 tires for a good portion of the field.
Yeah, that last run you definitely had to take 4, there's no question, with as much as Atlanta wears the tires, but there's definitely a good chance you might see someone try a 2-tire strategy just to get that little bit of extra track position here, but I don't think it'll be anybody in the top 10. It'll be someone who just wants to try to gain some track position if they felt like they were getting held up there. So we'll see what they do here.
14 laps on the first run, 8 on this one, so that'll be interesting to see if anybody maybe tries a 2-tire stop, as everybody in their box pretty good for the top 5, and we'll see who's going to come out with the lead here in race number 2 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It has been a fun one so far. Jason Jacoby has been one we've been watching all race long, sort of work his way through the field, and he'll come out 2nd on this restart, and Justin Fuller going to lead us back to the green flag. Trey Edson will restart 3rd, it looks, there in the number 40. Maybe not. Looks like Edson may have got a speeding penalty. I saw he was pretty fast exiting there, and that's exactly what has happened. Trey Edson heading to the back of the pack, the end of the longest line, and that's not what he needed on lap number 28 of 100. Still a long way to make your way back up, but things just got a little bit more tough for the driver at number 40.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. I say it's so hard to pass here, and he's gonna definitely have to be patient, just kind of work methodically up there, and then like we talked about, maybe take 2 tires for in the future pit stop if it works out. Looks like we had one taker with JD Laird in the 46. Looks like he did take 2 tires. He'll be restarting in the 15th position, so be interesting. Actually, I think 14th after Trey's penalty. So it'll be interesting to see how his 2 tires compare to the rest of the 4 tires around him that way, and I'm sure the other competitors will be taking note of that as well.
So here we go, set for another restart at Atlanta. Lights still on top to pace car, so we'll take a quick commercial break here and get us set up for the second restart of the night. It'll be just around 70 or so laps to go as we ease in on the halfway point of this one. You're watching the WCIParts.com Truck Series live on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm a week behind, apparently, as lights are off at TalkToiRacing.com. Ford Mustang pace car getting set for the second restart of the night, coming with 70 laps to go. As we are set to go, it's Justin Fuller, Jason Jacoby. That'll be row 1. Row 2 has David Comstock and Kevin Brown. Row 3, Chad Coleman and Nick Silver. That's the top 6 as we're lined up, set to go back racing. Justin Fuller leading us back to the green flag for the first time tonight here at Atlanta. He's in the gas. We're back underway, and some sideways action. Wetzel through the grass, and looks like he'll come back up with no harm, no foul there, but a close call nonetheless.
Yeah, so even with new tires, Atlanta's always a little risky with as much as abrasiveness as it is. It's slick on the restarts, I'm saying. They're stacked up there towards the back there and exiting turn 2.
That they are back of the pack. They are going at it around the 29th and 30th positions back here with James Pascarella and James Somke and Randy Yoakum all in the mix there. They get it sort of figured out as by the time they get back to the front straightaway, but those guys were almost 4 wide at points there on that build-up lap from or after the restart. Up front, it's Justin Fuller leading David Comstock and Jason Jacoby. Comstock the highest he's been tonight for the driver out of North Carolina. Started 6th in this race and up to 2nd off of turn number 4, completing lap 32.
Yeah, so I'm not sure Jacoby's really ready to give up that 2nd place. Yeah, it looks like he's all over the back bumper of Comstock, trying to get that spot back and then trying to get himself back and try to get himself up into the lead, I should say. I'll say, but like last time though, about the top 10 or so are pretty much single file, and then from then there on back, they're starting to split up into double file, make some moves.
So we see sort of a trend going on here. Gael is Fuller being out front, real good out front. He's a strong lead truck, but it seems as if he gets into traffic, truck sort of gets tight on him, seems to fall back. Same thing with Kevin Brown, you see he's mixed way back in the mix now. He sits 5th. Maybe he's having some problems in traffic as well. Doesn't feel as confident with that truck when it's not in clean air. He sits 5th right now, but we'll keep an eye on him over the course of this race. You know as well as I do, clean air, a huge plus, especially at a track here like Atlanta.
Yeah, with as fast as this track is, clean air is definitely where you want to be, and I think that's exactly what you're seeing right now with Jacoby, and you can tell because Fuller is definitely protecting the bottom to keep that away from Jacoby, so I think that's proving right there how much clean air means to these guys that say you're only at lap 35 and they're going after like it's the last lap, and here comes Jacoby on the inside of Fuller off of 2.
And they'll go side by side for the lead down into turn number 3. Speaking of clean air, look at that left front on Jacoby's truck. Got some damage from earlier in this race. We'll see if that affects the clean air as he pushes up off turn 4. Gets a little tight with Fuller. Nonetheless, Jacoby leads his first lap of the night here in race number 2 and looking fairly stout as he tries to take the lead away from Fuller, but Fuller fighting back on the outside, pinching him down off turn 2. Fuller gets the run to the back straightaway, and they'll continue to duke it out up front.
Yeah, Fuller's holding tight there on the top. I say trying to pinch Jacoby as much as he can safely as we're still early on. Try to make Jacoby lose a little bit of that momentum, but man, they are close off of 3 and 4. Jacoby got a little loose. But yeah, Fuller's holding the momentum out there. If he can do that for another turn or 2, he might be able to get the lead back here off of turn 2 or turn 4.
Fuller had the momentum down the front straight away, and we'll see what happens over here in 2. It looks like Jacoby really rotated the center well and trying to take the lead back, but Fuller with the momentum on the outside pulls back even with him, still side by side for the lead here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Has some damage on Jacoby and some damage to the left rear of Fuller's machine. Got the spoiler a little wrinkled up, and now Fuller did everything he could to keep the truck off the wall. A close call there as Jacoby still fighting there on the inside. Fuller trying to clear him. A great battle up front as we inch closer and closer to the halfway point of this race.
They are not giving each other an inch. What's amazing is they're actually able to hold a gap over third place David Comstock, and it looks like Jacoby finally called it there. He said, all right, I'll fight another day, but I was impressive. I thought the bottom line was going to have it there, so it definitely shows you that there's more than one groove around here. If you can make it work on the middle lane, you can definitely hold that bottom line off. Just got to make sure you get a good exit, and obviously be careful to not touch the wall like Fuller almost did there exiting for the last time by.
Absolutely. Look at Jacoby kind of with the late apex over in 2, trying to get a run on Fuller to maybe make another charge for the lead, and he closes up to the rear bumper, and just as that happens, we've got a caution behind them.
Oh, it's a big caution, too. You got one flipping over there.
Yeah, it was Jeff Ryan in the 67 upside down on the back straightaway here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's the 3rd caution of the night. Happened in front of Ryan with E.J. O'Rourke sort of getting in the mix, and boy, Ryan kind of got hooked on the wall and tossed around like pizza dough on the back straightaway and ends up on all 4 tires. Doesn't look like, though, he's able to drive away. So nonetheless, caution out for the 3rd time here tonight at Atlanta. And boy, that was a big slide through 1 and 2 from E.J. O'Rourke. He slid from the entrance of turn 1 all the way off of turn 2 before making more contact and finally looping the truck around. I think had he not made the contact, he would have been fine, but made the contact and upset the truck just enough to loop him around, and then he gets collected by Ryan there, and Ryan goes for the wild ride down the back straightaway. Nonetheless, though, slows us down again here at Atlanta, and that opens the door for more pit stops and maybe some pit strategy.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see too much strategy on this time. I think that was enough run where everybody's going to want to take 4 tires here, fill it up with fuel, say, and then because you could tell tires definitely do play a big role in this one.
Looks like Jacoby going to win the race off pit road, and that may change the face of this race. He beats Fuller, Comstock, Sean Boundy. Looks like he may have tried the 2-tire stop, and Kevin Brown going to round out the top 5. So here we go as we get set to restart this deal, and I'm real interested to see how that's going to work for Boundy on the 2 tires. And we have one driver that's yet to pit. It's Matthew Welsenbach. We'll see if he comes down this time. He will. Started 40th and heads back to pit road. Still 39 trucks on the lead lap. A couple have retired, those being Nick Timms, Dave Coburn, and Milt Matisse.
Yeah, I'll say we had one taker with the 2 tires earlier in the race, but he was kind of around 16th or so. So this one will be, say you've got Boundy up in 4th place with the 2 tires. Now this will be a really good way to judge how the 2 tires are going to work versus 4 on this run. But I mean, it's worth the risk at this point. I think Sean Boundy started 17th up to 4th now from that, so I think it's a good risk to take. You never know, and with the way the timing of these yellows have been, maybe if it gets another timely yellow, come in, take 4, and be right in the top 5 with everybody else again.
Absolutely. Update on Trey Edson. After speeding on the last round of pit stops, he's made it back up to 27th from around the 39th position. So just over 10 spots gained on that round of pit stops and that green flag run. So Edson's still got some work to do and still got over half the race to do it. 58 laps to go right here at the flag stand this time by, but he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to catch the 88 of Jacoby. I think Jacoby has one of the fastest trucks in the field, maybe the fastest one. He just really needed to clean air, and Fuller was fighting tooth and nail to keep him from getting that, and really benefited Fuller there. He was able to hold on to the lead on that green flag run, but then the caution flew and kind of spoiled that intense battle for the lead. But nonetheless, we're going to see if they're going to go at it once again here as we get set to restart. It'll be 57 laps to go as lights go off top the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car.
Yeah, we haven't got that long run like we talked about to see how they shake out with. Because I do feel like Jacoby's been running it really hard, so I wonder if he would fall off on the longer runs. But he hasn't had to have that concern yet because the yellows have come out pretty early on in the runs for these guys. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we do get the longer run, how his truck reacts. But I think him being able to control the restart is going to mean a lot, and it'll be interesting to see how Fuller now, if he can make an attempt on getting the lead back there with him starting in 2nd place.
Another driver to keep your eye on there, David Comstock in 42. He might be able to get a good restart here on that inside line, and one we're definitely going to keep our eye on would be the 34 of Sean Boundy. Don't know what's going to happen here with Boundy on this restart. He's one of the drivers that took 2 tires there, and really one of the furthest drivers taking 2 tires starting up inside the field. So here we go, pace car to pit road, and we're set to go back racing. Jacoby in the gas. He spins the tires a little bit. Boundy a little bit sideways on the throttle as well, but for the most part, gets down into turn number 1, clean and green so far.
Yeah, I was saying that's the 2 tires versus 4 there. Is you can just definitely get the power down much easier with the 4. I say Bounty's just going to try to kind of lick his wounds a little bit there and then get to the bottom as soon as he can. But it looks like I think everybody around him is going to try to hold that bottom and make life difficult on him.
So Boundy, we'll see how he holds up on the 2 tires versus the 4, and doesn't look too good for now as he's kind of getting freight trained down low. Up front, top 3, tail to nose, it's Jacoby, Fuller, Comstock as they race down into turn number 1. Jacoby holds the lead for now, but Fuller wants his lead back, and I think he's going to do everything he can to take it back from the 88.
Yeah, so you can see Jacoby, he's working hard to run that bottom as tight as he can right on that white line. But I was noticing is Fuller's actually able to hold it a little bit lower on the exit, whereas Jacoby's drifting it all the way up to the wall. Say a little early to maybe risk that close to it, but I say he probably knows where his fenders are, and so he'll use every inch of the track.
Big gaggle of trucks from Sean Boundy on back, and he may be holding them up as this may get interesting down the back straightaway. They have been close to contact a few times, and boy, Chad. Oh, there's sideways for the 12 of Beverly, and he saves it.
That was an impressive say. That's one of those. Saw what EJ did. Is like, let me just try.
Oh, and now
done, though.
Now he's sideways again, and here comes EJ O'Rourke. He'll do some landscaping through the grass and hopefully keep it straight back up on the track. We're still green somehow. We had about 7 crashes on the front straightaway without a caution.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Beverly. He had it saved, and then they were just so stacked up there that he wasn't able to really merge back onto the front stretch there, and just kind of got squeezed right back down onto the grass by the, it looks like by the 40, I believe. And so at that point, he was just along for the ride. And I said I didn't see what happened exactly to EJ, but he definitely did some lawn mowing and some off-road in there as well.
And they were about 5 wide there for a moment as Beverly did a great job saving it there. He's going to lose a plethora of positions, though. And now the caution going to wave on the back straightaway. This one involving...
I think the 40 was in it again, unfortunately.
Wow.
And that's what happens. You lose your track position. I'll say you just get caught up in some events here.
So Edson gets involved with that as kind of pushed up the racetrack into Colby there and on his roof down the back straightaway. And wow, another wild ride here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, putting us under caution for the 4th time as Edson and Patrick Colby come together in a wild moment off turn 2.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like we just mentioned, say he got that pit penalty. He was trying to work his way forward, probably being a little more aggressive than he might normally be, but yeah, just trying to gain some time. Just didn't work out, unfortunately, for him. And I'll say it works out well for EJ and Dwight Beverly, though. Now they can stay on the lead lap, get their damage fixed, and I'll say live to fight another day.
Pit stop's going to happen with about 5 laps on the tires. So now we're going to see who's going to take 4 versus 2. We'll watch that, as will you, on our corner-to-corner coverage. We'll take a quick commercial break and be right back on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. David Comstock will lead us to the green flag for the first time tonight, just past the halfway point. 48 laps to go. Once we get the green flag, he'll restart alongside Justin Fuller. Jason Jacoby will start side by side with Kevin Brown, and Chad Coleman will restart fifth, and Ryan Howard going to be sixth there. That's the first 3 rows as we get set for this restart. And here we go, Gael. David Comstock going to be out front for the first time tonight, and he'll get to experience that clean air. I'm interested to see what the clean air has effect on the 42 machine.
Yeah, so I think he was honestly biding his time those first couple runs, just letting those leaders fight as hard as they were, and be like, all right, I'm going to give you guys a couple of tenths here just in case something happens. I got some room to react. So I say we might be able to see his real pace on this restart here. I say, like you mentioned with the clean air, I think he's going to want to hang on to it.
Getting down to crunch time in hot Atlanta as pace car gets set to head down pit road. Track temperature up to 121 degrees. So glad you've tuned in with us here on the Sim Racing Network. Green flag is back in the air. We're back underway at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and a good restart for Fuller on that outside line. We'll have a good run going down into turn number 1.
Yeah, he's just able to close the door there on Jacoby entering one. Let's say able to get that nice arc off and see how long he'll be able to hold on to the position. Further back, you got Steve Goschuk looking on the bottom of Ryan Howard.
That will be for about the 6th position on this restart as Gottschalk trying to make some ground to back up there in the 91. Looking pretty stout there. And how about this? You know, I said, oh, this guy starts outside the top 30 and by halfway he's in the top 10. Well, hello, Chad Cole, number 82, up to 9th from starting 37th on the starting field. How about that for a run through the field?
Yeah, he's always been good about kind of biding his time, saving his stuff. And like I said, he maybe was worried about those early incidents. But I've seen it burn him before where they go caution-free. I say it looks like it'll work out on this one. He just probably needs a couple more longer runs to take advantage of it, because that's definitely where I've seen him excel on that 82 truck.
Jacoby gets a piece of the wall off turn 4, battling Justin Fuller for the 2nd spot as they'll race side by side to the back straightaway. That allows Comstock to sort of open up his lead as they race down into turn number 3. These guys seems like they've been side by side for half the race so far as they continue to run side by side through 3 and 4. Jacoby up top now. Fuller on the bottom. Last run, it was a little bit opposite with Jacoby down low, Fuller up top. They just swapped the roles this time, and now Jacoby trying to fend off the 5 and talk about a pinch over in 2. That's going to get really tight to the back straightaway. Maybe some contact between the two.
Yeah, I think if there wasn't contact, I don't think you could fit a piece of paper between those two there. I say they've been racing really hard with each other, but I have to say they've been giving each other just enough room to make each truck be able to have some room to work around each other. But yeah, they're almost having to be inch perfect, but Jacoby's able to pull off the pass there, get back up in the second. He's going to challenge for Comstock here for the lead again.
So Jacoby gets by Fuller, and now he closes up real quick to the back bumper of Comstock, and we'll see if he has anything for the 42 as they race down into turn number 3. Top 3 tail to nose. Brown just outside there in the top 4 outside. Looking in there in the 93 for the birthday boy, and right behind him, Chad Coleman, who is, you know, I think he's been 5th the whole race. I don't think he's gained any spots or lost any spots. He started 3rd, and I think he dropped back to 5th early on, and he's set there pretty much the whole race as Jacoby makes the move for the lead down in turn 1. Comstock pinches him off 2, and they'll go side by side for the lead down the back straightaway as we close in, this time by the flag stand. 42 laps to go at Atlanta.
Yeah, I'd say same story, another lap it looks like. I say this time with Comstock and Jacoby running real tight. Whoa, and Jacoby's just able to slide up right in front of Fuller there off of 4. So yeah, I'd say there's still over 40 laps to go, but they want to get all the track position they can here at the moment. But yeah, I say there's definitely a top line that's working. To say you just gotta be really tight on the door of that truck on the bottom though.
Jacoby and Fuller both tagged the apron down in 1 and 2, sort of upset their machines through the last set of corners, but didn't really slow them down from Comstock too much. Jacoby has dropped about 4 truck lengths back off of turn number 4 to the front straightaway, doing everything he can to catch back up. Comstock gets a good run off turn 4 and gains just a little bit there, just under 3/10 it was at the line, separating the 2 leaders out front. Comstock, Jacoby, Fuller, Brown, Coleman, and then we have Howard, Chad Cole, J.D. Laird, Tommy Ryan, and good battle for 10th between Steve Gottschalk and Paul Nicholas Cooper. Those guys right there, another pair that seemed to have been racing each other almost the whole race.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like the top 3 have kind of settled out for just a few minutes at least, or a few laps I should say, but say just as I was about to say that, Fuller's right back up on the back bumper of Jacoby going for second again, and I think it actually looks like some cloud covers come over the track, because the track temp's already down to 103 from that 122 we were talking about just not even a few minutes ago, so definitely a weather sensitive track here, so I think that you might see some more trucks be kind of holding that white line a little bit more than you would where they'd be spreading out a little bit, so be interested to see how the track temperature plays a role in this one as well.
Yeah, you get a lot of confidence when the track temperature dips down, you know, about 20-30 degrees from where it was. The track gains a little bit of grip during that time, and you feel like you're Superman almost for a couple laps, and then the sun comes back out and you start sliding back around, and really makes for a fun race, especially here at Atlanta, a track that's already abrasive on tires, and really a loose racetrack in itself. It doesn't matter what vehicle you're driving, and these guys certainly putting on a good show for us here tonight. There has not been a lack of excitement anywhere in the field. We could just about at any moment of the race pick a spot, and just as I talk about that, the caution going to wave this time for the 5th time here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and it looks like this time it's going to be involving the 08, I do believe, Thomas.
Yeah,
O'Leary.
The 08 and the 16 it looked like of Steve Ritter.
So O'Leary, man, he just got turned dead right into turn 1 and upside down he goes. We've had a lot of trucks getting upside down here tonight, and wow, that was a wild ride for O'Leary down in turn number 1 and 2, putting us under caution for the 5th time here at Atlanta, just under 40 laps to go.
Yeah, we've had some. The wrecks we've had have not been small ones, to put it lightly. Like, this is at least the 2nd truck that's gone up and over. So I'll just take a look, see what happened there.
So
yeah, so yeah, it looks like the 16 and the 08 just got together entering one, and then you had the 77 and James Pasquarella had just nowhere to go and just drove right through him. So that must have been something to see from the cockpit of that truck.
absolutely.
So I'm sure it caught his attention.
So a wild crash putting us under caution, allowing for some more pit stops to occur here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and boy, get ready for this one, as this could be the stop of the race. Who's going to come out where at the end of this one? Comstock had a pretty good lead heading on the pit road. We'll see if he's able to keep his lead. Exiting, it's going to be close, as Jacoby and Comstock, they'll battle side by side, and a photo finish off of pit road, but pretty much top 5 going to stay the same.
Yeah, that was very close. I'd say maybe a bumper apart of each other. Actually, it looks like I think Comstock may have just gassed it right before the cone to get it, but not do enough to break the speeding penalty. But yeah, and that tells you how important it was there. He was almost willing to risk a pit penalty just to make sure he got out in front.
35 laps to go this time by, as we're getting closer and closer to crunch time and a 20 to go mark, where pretty much anything is out the window and you'd almost wreck your grandmother to win this race. We're going to take another quick commercial break, We'll return right after this. You're watching the WCIParts.com Truck Series live on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. 33 laps on the board when we restart this one. And you got y'all looking like we're pretty good on fuel for the remainder of the race. And then the next question, though, is can we go green for the remainder? We've seen some wild action so far here tonight, and I don't think it's going to start calming down anytime soon.
No, I think now it's just going to be ratcheting up as we come to green right there, and Comstock gets a really nice start on there, so he's able to pull Fuller right along with him into second. So that worked out perfectly for those two. They work their teammates, so it's working really well there. As the fight to get to the bottom, so you saw Chad Cole immediately drop to the bottom there. So they did not the start that Kevin De Brown was looking for, unfortunately.
Brown falls outside of the top 5 for the first time tonight as Jacoby trying to hold off Chad Coleman in 3 and 4, and he'll do that as here comes Chad Cole from 37th looking to make his way to 4th. That'll be 33 spots gained for the 82 if he can complete the pass.
Yeah, he's been on the move. So I think now you're going to see what he really had. I think he was just kind of biding his time initially, but now I think now, like we talked about, it's pretty much go time. Should be able to make it on fuel for all these trucks, so I think now is going to be get everything you can, and all tires are nice and fresh, and then kind of see how it shakes out from there.
The truck and wall at the back of the field looks like it was the number 3 of John Mushton, and was running 18th, and I'll bump him down outside of probably the top 30. A good run going for John after coming from a lap down early on, starting on pit road. Got the lucky dog, and now they're crashing in turn 1, the 2 of Dave Emig, and everybody looks to have saved it, but it was enough to trigger a caution. That would be the 6th one of the night.
Looks like a few of them got caught up in that. It looks like the 8 and the 2 got together there entering 1. We'll take a look at the replay here.
Some hard racing going on there.
Actually, what happened was the 12 of Dwight Beverly hooked the 8, who then hooked him into the 2. So it was just kind of, accordion effect where one hooked the other one, that caught the 3rd, and say around they win. But they all did a good job saving it, but yeah, still enough to bring out the yellow here. I'll say with that being such a short run, though, I'm curious to see if anybody pits for tires here, if everybody's going to stay out for the track position.
It was 3 laps under that green flag run, so I too am very interested to see what's going to happen as the pit's going to open this time by. Comstock, your leader. So maybe Comstock, the only one staying out. Maybe everybody comes behind him. Everybody coming down pit road. Looks like. So here we go. Now the question, 2 or 4 on this pit stop.
I'm a little surprised nobody wanted to stay out here to get the track position. I see one staying out towards the back. I'm not sure if he'll be pitting the next time by or not. But yeah, I expected to see someone stay out for it. That just tells you how much tires mean here.
Watching these pit stops, seeing who's going to try 2, who's going to try 4. Jacoby tries 2, and that'll put him in the lead. Gottschalk, a big move there for the 91. He'll jump up to the 2nd spot. So some big strategy plays there.
Yeah,
Looks like
so there
Nick
was some
Silver.
strategy this time.
Nick Silver also going to take 2, so some real big strategy moves there. We'll see how they play out once we get the green flag.
Yeah, I'll say it looks like Mark Creighton in the 80, he may be staying out on this run. I'll say instead of doing the 2 tires like the other guys did. So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, you've got Jacoby out first with the 2 tires, followed by Steve Gottschalk, and then David with 4. Nick Silver, like you said, taking 2. And then I think the rest from there on back, I believe all took 4 tires, however.
So Creighton down the pit road, and that'll leave Jacoby and Gottschalk on 2 tires, and Comstock will be the first on 4. Silver on 2, and Fuller on 4. So that's the top 5, and then, like you mentioned, everybody from there on back going to be on 4. Coleman, Cole, Brown, Howard, and Laird.
Yeah, I think this will actually be best case scenario here will be for David Comstock restarting in 3rd. He'll should be able to time the restart pretty well on Jacoby. Just depends on how kind of restart that Steve Gottschalk gets here. So yeah, he'll have 4 fresh tires versus the 2, but this will be a good judge to see. Now you've got a bunch of trucks with 2 tires up front versus the 4, so we'll see what happens here.
Tonight's broadcast is part of our Triple Threat streaming coverage. You can view this broadcast live on our Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, and we encourage you, no matter what platform you're tuning in from, to give us a follow and give the video a like. And once you follow us, be sure to turn on notifications so you can be notified whenever we go live right here on the Sim Racing Network. It's a pretty big operation for 4 to 5 days of the work week. We're live right here, so we enjoy bringing the action to everyone out there on the interwebs. And look at this big move here, Jason Jacoby. I don't know if it's a bad move, though. That puts Gottschalk on the inside. Jacoby restarts outside, and we've talked about the 2nd place driver not being able to get a good jump. That's going to trap Comstock behind the 91.
That is a very smart idea. I didn't even think about. That's probably why I'm in the booth tonight. But yeah, no, I really like that idea because you've got Nick Silver behind him with the 2 tires, and like you said, it's gonna trap Comstock behind Steve, and just depends on the kind of how quick Steve can react to Jacoby here. So yeah, this will be interesting to see how it plays out there.
So here we go. 26 laps to go as we get them racked, get them stacked, and set for, well, what could be the final restart of the night. But, you know, we say that all the time in the final stages of these races, but we know these guys never calm down in the final 20 laps. That's when they usually build the heat up to some very big levels. We'll find out what happens on this restart, see how the 2 tires work for 3 of the top 4. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway, and a huge jump for the 88 of Jacoby. The plan worked out beautifully. Traps the 42 behind the 91, and now he's going to be able to set sail.
Yeah, he's able to get a couple trunk length lead right away. I'd say now is, I'd say basically what David's rooting for here is just for Steve and the 15 to kind of get single file so he can start making a move and make the benefit of those 4 tires. But right now they're still staying 2 by 2.
Side by side for second is Silver, though, going to go up the racetrack and forward. That'll open the gap for Comstock to duck to the inside of Gottschalk. He'll give him the lane down into 1 and 2. So here comes Comstock trying to make up some ground on Jacoby. Comstock on 4, Jacoby on 2, and Comstock bringing the 5 of Fuller with him as they race to the back straightaway, side by side, 2 by 2.
Yeah, so that was the best case scenario. I'll say hopefully it'll help burn up some of Comstock's tires there, even him out a little bit once he does get to Jacoby. I mean, he's already got an 1/8 of a second lead just in those 2 laps right there.
What a race. Some 3 wide almost taking place, and is going to take place between Brown and Cole and Howard back there. Some teammates shaking things up here late in the going. I'd say past halfway, Gael, there's really no such thing as teammates. You're all in for yourself trying to win this race.
Yeah, I'd say the only thing that changes is just maybe a little bit extra guilt if you wind up getting into each other. But yeah, towards the end of the race, though, yeah, it's pretty much no holds bar with these guys. It's try to every man for himself. Ideally, yeah, you don't take each other out, but yeah, you just got to try to get the best result you can for yourself here.
Gottschalk holding his own pretty well there in 4th. That may be the move of the race if he's able to come out of this deal with a top 5, even a top 10 from taking those 2 tires. Definitely would boost his momentum heading into race number 3 as he continues to ride 4th for now. He's got Chad Coleman, no surprise, back in 5th right behind him, side by side with Nick Silver.
Yeah, so maybe he knows that Coleman's in 5th, so he's like, okay, that's where he's going to be anyway, so he's in the perfect spot there. But no, I mean, it shows you, though, with the 2-tire idea, because, I mean, you got Jacoby leading, and let's say some of the guys who took 4 who were in the top 5, like Chad Cole, he's mired back into 9th now, just having to fight to try to get any and every spot he can. So that was a really good pit strategy there by Jacoby. He's still holding over half a second lead on Comstock.
Certainly is as we close in. 21 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's almost to the 20 to go mark. It'll be 20 to go this time by, and that's what I really like to call. That's what I like to call crunch time. That's when it's time to either make your move or just sit and ride where you're at. And for Comstock and Fuller, they're doing everything they can to get caught back up to Jacoby to maybe have a shot at battling him for the win here in the final 20 laps of this one. 1/5 of the race remains here at Atlanta in race number 2.
Yeah, so it looks like Jacoby is starting to slide up the track a little more. I know he was doing it earlier, but I don't think these ones are as planned. And I'm saying the good part is for Comstock is he's got his teammate Fuller right behind him, so I'm sure they're going to work together as best they can. Use that draft and build each other, or build that momentum. And as I said that again, Jacoby almost touching the wall off of 2. He's using every inch of this track.
Doing everything he can to hold on to that lead. He's trying to, he tried to build up a big lead and trying to maintain that as much as he can. That way it'll take Comstock and Fuller longer to get to them and get to him, and longer to maybe complete the pass if they get to battling. Right now, Jacoby still 0.6 of a second lead over Comstock, 0.7 back to Fuller as these guys, Keaton into the inside wall on the back straightaway. We stay green, he keeps it straight.
Yeah, so that's one of those things that happens. You get these guys all bunched back up together. But like you mentioned, though, with Steve Gottschalk, I really like that 2-tire strategy he's pulling right now because he's still on. But let's take a look, see what happened there off of 2.
Keaton involved in that incident off of turn 2. Looks like Gael just got loose by himself and into the inside safer barrier. That'll pretty much knock his machine out of tow and maybe knock him out of the race, although he's still on track, sitting 34th.
Yeah, it was a tough hit. He was just trying to stay low under the 99 truck, and yeah, just unfortunately wound up popping the wall there off 2. As you say, that caution just came out there off of 4.
Caution out, 7th time, and this one's going to be a big one involving Bobby Wetzel and a few other trucks. Looks like O'Rourke gets a piece of it, in the 41. He just has not had a good race at all, and it was O'Rourke and Anthony Calantoni coming together off turn 4. O'Rourke turns Calantoni head on into the outside wall again, upside down for another machine here tonight, and Wetzel just sort of a victim there, gets a piece of Calantoni as everybody sort of skirts through, with some heading through the grass and others doing everything they could to avoid. Big moment there again, though, and putting us under caution, slowing us down, and bunching the field back up for another restart.
Yeah, it's looking, unfortunately, the 84 just wound up sliding up a little bit too much into EJ, and like I said, it's getting towards the end of the race, so they're going for everything they had. But yeah, so I'll say it'll be pit stop time again. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be taking 4 here for sure, since that was a long enough run. But I think that was exactly what Jacoby was looking for there, just to get that timely caution now, put them all in the same strategy.
It was a 10-lap run there, so I would definitely, put the cards on the table that everybody's going to take 4 tires here. And you mentioned it, Jacoby, perfect strategy. Took the 2 tires, got out with a big lead, and just sort of rode around, hoping for a caution to even up the playing field, and he may have lucked into that caution there. Nonetheless, though, he'll have the lead heading down on the pit road. He'll stop about midway down due to his 12th qualifying position, and we'll see how everything shapes up here and who's going to come out where, as this could be the final pit stop of the night. This could be the make or break moment for these drivers. Oh my. Big gamble by J.D. Laird in the 46. He'll win the race off pit road, and looks like Brian Chambliss must have missed his pit box there in the 25. He'll just drive through, but it's Laird on 2 tires, Gael. How about that for maybe trying to mix some things up in the final 15 laps of this one?
Yeah, I think it's a good risk there. I don't know exactly where he was before the caution came out. I know he was one of the first ones that took 2 earlier in the race, and so I think he must have liked the way it felt, and I think it's worth a gamble. It's like, hey, you want to win a race, or you just want to try to get top 10 at best? So, yeah, I like the idea. Say he'll have to kind of play that strategy of who he wants to have restarting behind him. Kind of like Jacoby did when when a bunch of them took 2 tires. So that'll be a little bit of a challenge because he's going to have a bunch of 4-tire trucks behind him. But yeah, this will be exciting. I look forward to seeing how this one pans out.
And Chambliss is going to stay out, as is Mark Creighton. So, usually we expect those guys to come down right about now, especially since Chambliss missed his pit box. Maybe he's saying, I missed my pit box. This may be my best shot to get a top 10, and if I get a couple quickie yellows here, Gael, I could have a shot at maybe a top 5 leaving Atlanta.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. If he did miss his pit stall, it's like, well, kind of you made your bed, lie in it. I kind of like that idea. I say I think we're gonna have to be real careful about those 2 spinning their tires on the restart. So I'm sure JD is kind of a little stressed about this one now. He's like, oh, I thought I had the perfect plan, but we'll see what happens here.
Absolutely. You still have a couple laps for these guys to duck off, being Creighton and Chambliss. Those are the only 2 on no tires. Again, Chambliss came down pit road, but he missed his box the first time by, and one would assume it would come back down this time by, but the way Creighton is got his truck up on the top side, Gael, I don't think he's coming to pit road.
No, but Chambliss is actually, he has second thoughts, it looks like. However, I'll say this actually will be pretty good for JD now, because with Creighton being up front, he'll have a front row start, and if he can just get that good start, that'll be helpful there. So now just figuring out who's going to be. Yep, Creighton's going to take the top here. So I think this will work out pretty well for JD still. So he's just going to have to try to hold that bottom as best he can, and at least, again, like we talked about, get a couple quick yellows, and he could be able to sneak away with a win here.
Well, this is definitely going to be interesting, as we'll restart with 12 laps to go. Front row outside, that's the leader, Mark Creighton, no tires. J.D. Laird on the inside, 2 tires. A swarming pack of Tundras and Silverados behind, all on 4 tires. So this is This is this is going to be the restart of the race, no doubt, as we get set to rack 'em and stack 'em and turn 'em loose one more time. Lights out atop the iRacing.com Ford Mustang Pace Car. We'll remind you to get social with us right here at the Sim Racing Network. Find us on Facebook by searching the Sim Racing Network. Give us a like and give us a follow on Twitter at the SRN_. And if you're watching on our YouTube page, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be notified whenever we go live, especially when we go live and in some exciting races like this one. Lights out. Green is back in the air. Some wheel spin. Justin Fuller sideways through the grass. Laird beats Creighton to the line and beats him down into turn one. We'll see what the officials think about that, but nonetheless, J.D. Laird with the lead to the back straightaway.
Yeah, I think that was his best case scenario. Now he's going to have to protect the bottom for all he's worth, but I don't think, yeah, and there goes Jacoby looking to the bottom immediately, so we'll see how long he's able to hold on, which I don't know if it's going to last through 3 and 4, but he's going to push hard here.
Jacoby down low, looking to take the lead. Comstock on the bumper, and there's contact. Jacoby goes through the grass. 3 wide for the lead. He comes up there, still 3 wide. Laird gets the wall. Comstock on the middle of the racetrack. The caution flies on lap 90. Wow, wow, wow.
That was something else there. Oh my goodness.
A wild moment on the front straightaway. That's not the first time Jacoby's been in the grass tonight, as Creighton, being a part of this caution, runs it up into the wall in turn 1, spins it out, and puts us under caution again here now with just 10 laps remaining at Atlanta. What a restart this is going to be.
That was exciting. Yeah, so unfortunately 80 caught the wall entering 1. 77 just had nowhere to go, but everybody else did an amazing job staying off of that one. But yeah, that was a crazy couple lap or two there. So I still can't believe Jacoby held on to that. So you could see though that Comstock definitely lifted a little bit off in the trial, but let him kind of settle and get back up onto the track. So I don't think it was intentional. I think that was basically his best way of like, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, and let him make his way back up track. So I don't think you'll see any pit stops here, but you never know. I've been proven wrong already with this race, so we'll see.
Boy, Jacoby went about halfway through the front straightaway on the grass after contact there with Comstock. Boy, get ready for this restart. We're going to do the same. We're going to take a quick commercial break to catch our breath. We'll be right back, and we'll take you to the checkered flag right after this. Race 2 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. David Comstock snagged the lead when the caution flew just a couple of laps ago. We'll restart this thing with 6 remaining here at Atlanta. That's 3 miles, if you're doing the math. Wow, well, scratch that. This isn't a half mile, Gael. That'll be...
Not
Martinsville. That'll be 9 miles. I'll try that one more time. I wasn't in school today. They taught us multiplication. But nonetheless, Comstock and Jacoby going to lead us back to the green flag. That'll be row number 1. And then you have Chad Coleman, J.D. Laird, Nick Silver, and Chad Cole. That's the top 6.
Yep, I'll say we'll see. I'll say that was a little bit of contact there between Comstock and Jacoby exiting 4. That's how Comstock was able to kind of snag the lead there. So see if Jacoby probably won't forget that, obviously. So we'll see if all's fair and return the favor.
We'll see. He's got 6 laps to do it. He's going to get to Comstock, and Comstock sideways on the throttle. And man, what a restart there. Had a couple of trucks get up into the wall. One of those looked to be the 3 of John Mushton in the back of the field. And there we go. Caution out again here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we have got a pile up in turn number 1. Edson involved in the 40. Bobby Wetzel in the 9, and many others.
Yeah, I'm taking a look. I think it was the 0-1.
Yeah, looks like it started with the 0-1, catching the 40 of Edson, and Wetzel just a victim of circumstance there, and the 57 gets a piece of it, and just on like Donkey Kong from there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like the 0-1 had a little bit of tire spin, tried to check up for it, and Wetzel got into the back of him and just kind of sent him down right into the 40, and they just kind of collected up from there.
That may give us enough time to possibly restart this thing. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think it might be a white flag restart here. I think it was still, like you said, with 6 to go on the restart. So if that's the case, I believe they will have a 1-lap shootout. So I'll say hopefully we'll be able to get at least one more shot at this.
If that's the case, buckle up as you see what happens on the restart there. Is just a lot of contact there due to some wheel spin, putting us under caution for what could be the final time here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Got to get the 2 to go signal here, lights off next time by if we're going to restart this deal. And if not, David Comstock may have snuck one away and picked up the victory.
Yeah, I was saying we were talking about everybody staying out here towards the end of the race, and it shows on these restarts because you can't get the power down with old tires. It's just, yeah. I mean, you saw Comstock. I mean, he led the field to the green. He had full control, and he was sawing on that wheel on the restart. It was incredible that he's able to hang on to it. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens next time around if we get the lights off or not. Hopefully get at least one more shot at it.
Nonetheless, it'll be we won't get a green-white checker. It'd be a 1-lap shootout if that's the case. We'd have to turn the lights off now for it to be a green-white checkered, as we'll keep a steady eye on that Ford Mustang pace car this time by at the flag stand. I don't assume we'd get the lights off, although these guys look to be doubling up. We could be turning the lights off this time by. No. Lights still on, so
I think it will be a white checker like we were mentioning, because yeah, the pace car lights should go off this next time by. So yeah, it's gonna be 1-lap shootouts, and I was saying they'll be able to race it to the checker flag after this one too. So this one might get exciting. I'll say Comstock's gonna have to really work on nailing the restart the way he wants to catch Jacoby off. He had it pretty good that last time by. He just had that tire spin and he was all over trying to hang on to it. So, and same thing for Jacoby. He's gonna have to try to time this one, I have a feeling, to have a good shot at it. So you won't; these things won't get up to full song, I don't think, by the time they get into 3 on this restart.
Absolutely, it'll be a 1.5 mile dash to the finish to decide who's going to win race number 2 here in the WCNIparts.com Truck Series. And got to turn the lights off this time by, although looks like we will with the way that the field is bunching up. Looks like they're getting ready for a restart. That'll allow us to get ready to finish this one off under green. Next flag would end the race after this restart, whether it be the checkered or the caution. So no matter what, you got to get every position possible on this restart. Comstock chooses the low line, and the lights go off atop the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car. That'll set us up for a 1-lap shootout. But before we get to that, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Here we go, Gael. Set up for a 1-lap shootout. And if you're Jacoby, you've got to have the restart of your life. If you're Comstock, you can't do a repeat of that last restart. So a lot of money on the line in this front row. And who knows, these guys might come together, and that would open the door for Chad Coleman or Nick Silver or anybody else behind them.
Yeah, I'll say this is going to be probably a pretty interesting restart here. I say with with those tires being worn like they are, I think Comstock will probably learn from what that last one did. He'll adjust accordingly, but I have a feeling you might see Jacoby maybe lay back a little bit, try to time it just right, and I'll say then probably pinch him as tight as he can in ring 1. We'll see what happens right here though.
Here we go, the make-or-break moment. Who's going to go to victory lane in Hot Atlanta? We'll find out in a 1.5 miles. Green flag back in the air. A magnificent restart for Jacoby. He'll fall to the inside of Comstock, runs through the grass. That's the 3rd time for the 88 tonight as they race down into turn number 1.
I'm going to say he's able to get to the bottom there. It just depends on if he's able to get enough of a run. Like I said, they may not be able to get up to full steam here. You need another lap or so for that one. So he'll send it though. We'll see what happens here going in 3.
Through 3 and 4, not going to be close enough. And off turn number 4, David Comstock. He'll win race number 2. Comstock to victory in Hot Atlanta.
And you got Jason Jacoby getting in 2nd, and then you got Nick Silver winding up the 3rd place there in the 15 truck.
Chad Coleman 4th, and Chad Cole from 37th to 5th. How about that for a run through the field? We'll chat with the rest of the we'll chat to the top 3 and David Comstock right after this. You'll watch his celebration live on our corner-to-corner coverage. We'll be back on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
No, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. this is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway as Comstock continuing to burn him down here on the front straightaway at Atlanta after a spectacular show. What a race. And we'll send it down to Gael Brooks, who is caught up with our third place finisher tonight, Nick Silver, from 18th up to third.
Hey Nick, this is Guile up in the booth. Just want to make sure, or up in the booth, sorry. I'm right here with you on pit road here. Sorry about that. Just want to see if you're able, you got us here?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So that was a pretty exciting couple last restarts there. I'll say, how did you feel like your race went there?
Well, for once, felt like it went pretty smooth. I had a run of bad races last few weeks, and it's been quite a while since I've been in the top 3 and interviewed. So it feels good.
Say, so through the race, did you go 4 tires the whole way, or did you ever try any 2-tire strategy during one of those shorter runs?
I was doing 4 pretty much the whole race, and second to last yellow, I think there. Pit stops, took 2 tires, and felt all right. But I was definitely glad it didn't go longer run than it was.
Yeah, as I saw, it worked. 2 worked for a couple of the trucks there, but I would say there's a lot of them though that just did not go to plan there, and especially with those short runs at the end, I think you needed the grip on the 4 tires, especially on those initial starts. But yeah, so no, great run getting there, third place with the number 15 Chevrolet. Anyone you want to thank or have shoutouts to while you've got the chance?
Well, I definitely got to thank my sponsor, Kristen Crockett's Cricket Services. If you need any crickets removed, call Kristen. And say hi to my mom and dad watching at home, 2 biggest fans.
All right, there you got it. And say that's Nick Silver, third place finisher in the number 15 Chevrolet.
Thanks, Gael Silver coming home third. And well, now we'll chat with the driver who has kind of been in the interview waiting area with maybe the driver he's not so happy with. We'll find out what Jason Jacoby has to say about that move that sent him through the grass in turn 4. Gael's caught up with the driver who gained 10 spots in tonight's race from 12th to 2nd.
Yep, caught up here with Jason Jacoby in the number 88 Toyota. You definitely have had some excitement during your race today there. Take us through some of those, I'd say, some of those grass excursions you've had through the day today.
Gail, thank you, man. I was just talking with David about that after the race. Congrats to him on the win, and it's cool to see him win. And I tell you what, those are just moves I love to make. I'd like to thank also John Muschin. He's out here racing with us, which is super cool. But he, on the Sim Racing Network, gave me the name Mr. Excitement. So, Ben, Gail, I appreciate y'all calling me that, guys. And that's just what I want to do, live up to that name. And passing in the grass is to me, it'll definitely work. But I did tell David, I found out when you're going through the gears, it's not exactly going to work. I think the best move for me to make on that white flag lap would have been to, stay on the asphalt part of the track and try to get a run off of 2 and go low on the backstretch. But man, yeah, the grass excursions are part of my routine at the quad ovals pretty much. And I encourage everyone to try it. To me, it's a lot easier to hang on to than you'd think. So, yeah, everyone, if you're iRacing out there, give it a shot. Try to make a pass in the grass or 2. It's pretty fun.
Well, that's not something I would have ever thought I would hear, but I'll say it looked like there's definitely a hard time getting traction on the asphalt. So yeah, I can only imagine that trying to get on the gas through the grass would be even a little more difficult. But you had one hell of a save though, coming off of four there, where it looked like Comstock got into the back of you a little bit, and you were able to hang on to it. And I think you only lost the one spot out of the whole deal. So yeah, you kind of had your fair share there.
Thanks, man. I tell you what, I was telling David in the race and after the race that was completely on me. That turn four was a botched exit because of my botched entry. I got under JD and I was too much focused on racing with him side by side. For whatever reason, I missed the corner entry and I pushed up the track, which led to a bad exit as well. So I completely understand David, not lifting out of it there and getting into me. I wasn't upset about it at all, and he apologized for it anyway. But it was all good. It made for another fun time in the grass, man. And like you said, almost held on to the lead there. The caution came out when David was a nose ahead. So, going back to some other Sim 5 races or Sim 500 races here, I was a little bit concerned on the restarts because I knew that David was with his teammates in TeamSpeak and they could call the restart. But like you said, it was hard to find traction on the asphalt too a little bit. So I thought I was going to maybe lose 2 or 3 spots on each restart, the final 2 of them. But I was lucky enough to hold on to second there, and it was a really fun race for me personally.
Yeah, you were put on a show there at the end with Comstack and earlier on with Justin Fuller. So you guys were going door to door. We were really enjoying it there. So that was a great run for you in the number 88 Toyota. I'll say, while you have the moment, any thanks or shout outs you want to give while you have a moment?
Gail, yes, sir. Thank you, buddy. Thank you to all you guys, Aaron, Ben, anyone who's part of the Sim Racing Network, John, who you guys do an awesome job. I love going back, and I know before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to be watching the broadcast. And my sponsors, if you guys don't have iRacing yet, or you'd like a second computer or upgrade your computer, look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, because he guarantees the lowest prices on computers for iRacing. He builds them out of generosity, not to make a ton of money or anything at all, just to help more people get in iRacing. So it's fegpc.net, fegpc.net. If you'd like the lowest price on a NASCAR driving experience, I'll be at every Seat Time Racing School event this year, and they've got, I think, 10 more of them on the schedule. SeatTimeRacingSchool.com, lowest prices and fastest cars in the NASCAR driving experience. Carbon Racing Solutions for racing, JasonJacoby.com. That's racing without a G. And everyone who helps out, thank you guys. And most importantly, thank you to the viewers. That's number one here. Thank you to everyone for watching, and hopefully see y'all next week.
There you have it from second place finisher Jason Jacoby. Definitely had an exciting day today, I'd say, but is able to round out in second place. And I think we've been able to catch up with the winner in Victory Circle.
Thank you very much, Gael. Down here in Victory Lane with David Comstock. And David, wow, what a race. Started 6th in this deal, kind of rode around that position for a good portion of the race, and then just a little bit past halfway, you sort of turned the wicks on and started getting up in the mix of things, battling for the lead, and had to survive quite a handful of restarts tonight. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, just like how you said, was hoping we'd get some green flag runs and do it like we normally do, where we had that first green flag run that was like, 15 laps or something, and we waited about 10 laps before we started really pushing it and was really gaining some grounds on the guys in front of us, but just didn't have the long runs that we were all hoping for, just because we were practicing as we went, it would get free, and so we'd be slipping and sliding around, searching around for grip a lot. So it would have put on a good show. Sucks that we had so many yellows, because it's just running as hard as you can, pit every time, run as hard as you can. So it's just it doesn't really play out for much strategy as far as that goes. But it's just the nature of the race sometimes, and was fortunate enough there to have a really fast pit stop. Our guys turned up the wick there on that pit stop halfway there to get to the lead. And at that point, I just wanted to try to control the race however best I can. And with the short runs, the trends that we kept getting, it was just run as hard as you can and keep the clean air.
Talk about one of the wildest moments of the race, where coming off turn 4, maybe a little bit of contact between you and the 88 sent him through the grass and put you guys 3 wide through the trial. Walk us through your viewpoint from that incident.
Yeah, going into 3, they were side by side in front of us, and so I took a later arc down into the corner to anticipate them not having the momentum off the corner, and maybe I can try to cut under. And we got off the corner, and I had so much speed through the center. The front end was plowing, not getting the air on the nose. And I was trying to cut under Jason there off the corner to try to make that run that I had planned. And he did a good job blocking it. It was so quick and it happened so fast. I couldn't back out of it. And so when we hit initially, I thought it was going to be square and we'd be okay. But it sent him through the grass, and luckily it didn't damage his truck any, and he was able to save it, and we were able to keep on racing. And then the yellow came out, so that we were lucky at that point there to be in position to where we can be in the lead from the timing lines, because that ultimately played out to who was going to win the race.
Certainly did. We congratulate you on your win tonight. A spectacular race from the number 42. Anybody you'd like to thank for putting you in victory lane?
Yeah, I would like to thank everybody Aftermath Motorsports, the teammates, Justin Fuller, Trey Edson, AJ O'Rourke, all their help every single week, running here at Sim500 and in the league, and the admins for putting everything on for us, and WCI Parts for coming on board and sponsoring the series and sponsoring the car. Carolina Doors and Windows, racingbiz.com. Of course, going to Facebook and search at racingbiz.com. We got live auctions every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, except for this week. We're taking a bit of a spring break here for this week, so go check that out next week, or go check it out anytime. Follow the page, like all the stuff we got going on. Mini auctions every single day during the week, so check them out. Racingbiz.com. Moss Energy, Gary Mercer Trucking, JDLair, JDR Graphics, painting the truck. You guys are broadcasting, all the fans out there watching. Thank you, guys.
There you have it, David Comstock. I'm assuming that was a monster you just cracked open there.
No, it was a beer, cold one.
Well, you deserve it after
celebrate.
Tonight's race. There you go. Congrats on the win. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
There you have it, Dave Comstock. He missed a perfect opportunity for a sponsor plug there with the monster, but it happens. Nonetheless, so great race, Gael. I can't thank you enough for jumping up on the booth with me tonight. I hope you had fun, and I look forward to having you on board maybe a couple more times this season.
Yeah, no, I definitely had a blast with you tonight. I'll say, as like I said, I was telling John before, it's nice to see from the other end of things. And I'll say, glad John was able to get some laps there on the track. Unfortunately, didn't go as well as he was hoping, though, I'm sure. But yeah, no, I'll say, look forward to watching more of your guys' broadcasts. Maybe I can try to sneak myself into one of these races as well, and try to put on a good showing for you all as well.
There you have it. Well, thanks, Gael, and thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. That'll do it for us here in race number 2 on the Sim Racing Network and the WCIparts.com Truck Series Sim 500 competition. For Aaron Grosskopf, Gael Brooks, I am Ben Kilcrease saying good night from Atlanta. Remember, when you're out there on the roads, to put that phone down.